Greetings. Welcome to another episode of Soul Fire Ascension with Raven and Jessamy. I am Raven.
I am Jessamy. Hello, everyone. It's wonderful to see you again.
And with us, we have Lisa Lovelight. Let me play her little video file before we get started so you know all about her. Fire Ascension welcomes Lisa Lovelight, Friday, May 17th at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Lisa is a quantum, galactic, Akashic reader, RAAH, Reiki, Aura Hypnosis healing practitioner. She's certified from Rising Phoenix Mystery School. Lisa is a light warrior, frequency keeper, star seed alchemist, and declares to be in service to Source for humanity. She has been on a spiritual journey since 2010 and is extremely passionate about her sovereignty, the truth of our reality, and the expansion of our consciousness. Discernment and perception are a pivotal part of being the change that we wish to see. She believes it is an honor to be a part of the ascending vibrations on Earth during this great time of awakening. Lisa can be found on the aurapractitioners.com website, along with her personal website at sacredheartquantumhealing.com. Please like, share, and subscribe to Soul Fire Ascension and don't miss out. Awesome. Let me get rid of this little thing. I'm still learning about that. There we go. And here we are. So welcome to the show, Lisa. We're so happy to have you here. So
I'm happy to be here.
Yay. Can you tell us a little bit about being an aura practitioner and what that is?
Mm-hmm. Thank you for asking. And again, thank you for allowing me to share space with you beautiful ladies and share a little bit about my journey with you and your audience. I found Aurora's material in 2021. And honestly, one day when I was in meditation, I felt very strongly to connect to the dragon energy. And then I thought, okay, well, who talks about dragons? So then I go on YouTube and, key it in, and one of Aurora's videos popped up. And then I was hooked from there, listening to, her information, a lot of her videos, and she talks about Ascension, etc. So then I thought, okay, and I got to learn more. So I first started out with her Isis Priestess course. I will suggest that if anybody is interested in learning more, that is a good foundation to start at, because it's an intro to how to really live life in a sacred way. And she assists and gives tools and tips and tricks and guidance on how to do that for ourselves. So that was a beautiful stepping point. And then I became an aura practitioner in September of 2022. And I did join online, and I took the class online with her. And from after that moment, for me, I felt like this was part of like the puzzle for myself that was missing, or a part of the tool. It was like my tool, the tools that I needed in my belt to go that next level for myself on the journey. So it is such an honor to be able to work with assisting people who want to help themselves, because really and truly, being an aura practitioner is, I'm not the one who's doing the healing, such as all the practitioners, we are there to hold the space. We are there to hold the sacred space. We are the container to assist those who want to help themselves to heal. And it's such a beautiful thing learning about like quantum healing, because anything is possible. So, and Raven, I know you and I want to exchange sessions. I don't know about you, but I can't believe it's May. Like, wow. We talked about this, I think, like, I don't even remember if it was before the fire or after the fire.
I think it was before the fire, but I'm ready now to swap sessions because, as you know, I'm also an aura practitioner as well. And met Lisa actually through Aurora, and she's a beautiful, beautiful soul. So, yeah, I'm certainly ready, because I think that they say that, you can go through a session and you can be done. And that's true. You can get a lot of healing done in one session, but I truly believe that we always need more healing. Don't you agree, Jessie?
Yes, absolutely. It's healing isn't linear. You go forward and then you go back, and then you go down a little bit, and then you're back up, and then and that whole cycle goes all over the place. It's not, from hurting to healed. So being able to utilize Reiki, RAAH Reiki, any sort of healing modality as a normal practice for yourself is just as beneficial to your body as taking vitamins, getting that monthly massage, the doctor's appointments when you need it. Like, don't neglect your spiritual wellness like you wouldn't neglect your physical and mental wellness.
Exactly. So, and there's, with every aura session, you also get some RAAH Reiki as well. And we keep going deeper and deeper. Every time Aurora does a class, it seems like it evolves. We use archangels, sacred alchemy, and like we get new symbols or we get new techniques, and just it's amazing. So if anybody's really interested in that, Rising Phoenix Mystery School is amazing. Aurora is totally amazing. Yeah. But we're here to talk about discernment and sovereignty. So I don't know how anybody else feels about it. Lisa, how do you feel about, can you describe a little bit about keeping your sovereignty?
Absolutely. So, and of course, this is something that everybody can see in a different way when you have that word sovereignty. So for me, that truly means taking ownership for my energy and how I navigate each and every day. And really and truly, if we continue as just humans, and we do the 9 to 5, you wake up, your alarm goes off, you got to do your day, you got to go to work, you got to eat, you got to take care of the animals, etc. When we're so busy, we don't realize how much we are actually giving away our power to many different things, whether it be people, our jobs, even technology, right? Because so in sovereignty, to me, I just feel like, being able to stand and being able to affirm each and every day how I want my day to flow, right? I am a co-creator. I co-create my reality. It's taken me many years to figure this out. But since I've gained my tools in my belt and practice this, right? It does. It takes practice. And what for me personally, I've noticed is really being able to state, I do not consent right? Like, because I do not consent to
Yes.
black magic. I do
Yeah.
not consent to the dark sorcery that unfortunately is really out in so many different things, right? You got
Yeah.
fast food, you got Starbucks. I'm not going to lie. Once upon a time, I was addicted to Starbucks.
Right.
Why? Because of that energetic layer that tries to pull you in.
Exactly.
And yeah, it's right. And I this was like perhaps like I want to say like in 2020, 2021. It was like, oh, Starbucks would give me stars. Well, let's go redeem them. And it was like a constant cycle that they would try to draw me back in. Hey, come buy one, get one free. And I'm just using this as an example because I was totally giving not just my money, but my power away. They controlled my thoughts. It's like, oh, you got something sugary for me. Okay. So, sorry.
No, it's fine.
So,
And that seems to be
but yeah,
what-
like, so, you know, for, oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Jess.
Oh, no, it's fine. I apologize to everyone. We're having some connection issues, I think, on my end, so I'm lagging. So I don't mean to like cut in or here and there. So I was just gonna say, yeah, that's the design of the Matrix right now is to keep us pulled in and then keep us there very solidly. And then if we try and break away from that Matrix, which is now the norm because everybody's got a cell phone in their hand. And that's what keeps you glued to that Matrix. That is that portal. But if you try to break away from that, you go through withdrawal, you go through the anxiety, and then you can even be almost outcasted. You know, I tried to spend a little time off of Facebook, and I had a lot of people that were kind of mad at me, and I'm like, I need to unplug. So,
yeah, I agree. And, you know, just the little things like, say, I would say the little things are like your cell phone and Starbucks. Let me tell you, we watched an episode of Ancient Aliens last night, and it was an hour episode, and they talked about how we will be merging with AI, and they had an AI robot that could have a conversation like you and I are like the three of us are having a conversation, and you know, each and process what you're saying and reply back in a normal conversation. And then they were saying that we would in the future upload our consciousness to the cloud. And I don't know about anybody else, but I'm keeping my sovereignty. I am organic. I have nothing to do with anything AI or anything like that in my body. And I mean, there are several people telling us how dangerous this is, and we're not seeing it.
Yep.
I mean,
Absolutely.
Lisa, what did you tell me about? You went to search for a book and you had found that this.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, tell us about that.
So there was, you know, I was on Amazon, and it had down, because it knows what kind of books that I've purchased in the past, and so it had a couple selections, you know, something you might like. And I looked at this one, and it said something about symbols, protection symbols. It was a book of symbols. And I thought, oh, let me just see what this is about. So I click on it and I look, and whatever the author was, I jotted it down on a piece of paper. And then after I clicked on that, a couple other books came up that were suggested by this author, but they were like totally different subjects. Like one of them was about ancient Egypt, and then another one was about like Wiccan. And so I thought, well, that's kind of okay, that's different because you got an author who's writing about all sorts of different stuff. So then I Googled the author's name, and the author had over 700 books. And there's just absolutely no way that a human can output that many books. And then I Googled, you know, who is I don't, like I said, I don't remember the name, but I said, who is so-and-so? And then there's a lot of AI generated books out there. And I thought, that's what I had stumbled upon. I stumbled upon all these books that were written by AI. And I don't know about you ladies, but I do not consent to that.
No.
I do not consent to a computer generating stories and then wanting me to open up and read them.
Right.
Because in a way, that's us agreeing to it if we purchase the book.
Right.
No, thank you.
So that's further programming that they're trying to do to us. And we can't consent to that. We cannot consent to that. We can't consent to the fear that they're trying to put in us. We are here to help hear that and soothe that. But the higher vibration that we become, the more powerful that we become as the united front of the spirit workers, the light workers, the more that's going to be pushed back at us as well. So we will have to be prepared.
Push back at us so much stronger. You know.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, and you just said, Jess, fear. What is fear? False evidence appearing real.
Exactly.
So it's, and that's something that we don't consent to. We're not in alignment with that. No, thank you. So, yeah. And about AI, right? So there could be, I did not look into these, just because I did not want my computer to then offer me, suggestions in the future. But I am very aware that there are programs that you can create. You want it to create a tiger drinking a cup of coffee, and it'll create it. And then what is that doing for us? It takes away our creativity. It's kind of, in a way, enabling. It's enabling people in a different direction that's not healthy and, again, not organic.
Yep.
So,
So,
and
Deb, I'm sorry. I'm lagging so bad. I apologize.
Deborah Williams says the trickster entities are really good at what they do, and they haven't been manipulating us for thousands of years. Absolutely, yes, they have. And the programming starts when you're a child, a baby, an infant, in your mother's room.
Yep,
so,
absolutely.
And Susan says, thank you for bringing this form of AI. I hadn't considered this, but what an eye-opener. Just look at our schools brainwashing throughout the books. Absolutely. My coworkers, their children have history books, and they are taking history out of the history books.
They are.
Yes. And it's crazy. Like, they're deciding what history our children need to learn.
Yep. Well, they're taking out a lot of the history that has to do with anything about like riots, revolutions, changing the government, things like that, because they don't want our children to know about that. They don't want our kids to know that we have that ability, that we're supposed to do that. So they just want to knock it out of the books. And if it's out of sight, out of mind, is that saying? If it's not there, it doesn't exist.
And Susan Vaughn says, bring it to discussion, verbiage correction.
Yep.
Yes. I mean, it's just amazing how, we are programmed from children on up. And it's really strange because America changed after the 50s. Something happened after Kennedy died, and America really started changing.
Mm-hmm. It really did.
And I'm not saying just America. It's everything. It's every country.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep. But with the web being as extensive as it is. I mean, Google is everywhere. The internet is actually 35 years old today. The public internet is 35 years old.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, internet. But it's impossible to get away from. We use it at work. We use it at home. We can't think of a recipe. It's right on our phone. We find it. It's harder to get away from it than it is to get to it like it used to be. I spent.
Well, I'm sorry. What happened to that part of our brain that used to remember phone numbers?
Exactly. But it's like a muscle. If you don't use it, you lose it. And we no longer have to use it.
No, because we always have it on our phone.
Yeah. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Are you still with us, Lisa?
I'm here.
I think we.
So
I think
again,
we might be having some technical issues.
All right, Brother Zadkiel, assist us here and allow us to have a beautiful, flowing conversation. Beautiful. I think it's like, I don't know if it's my excitement. It's our excitement. We're just like, woo!
It could be. Energy does weird things.
So does, yeah, right?
Yeah.
Another interesting thing that I did not look into it, but I seen this on TikTok. There is some kind of search program, or maybe this is this might be an app. I'm not sure. But it's AI generated, and you can tell this program what your birth date is, and it will tell you about your past lives. So this is another thing I just wanted to mention here for whom your audience is, and that is something that we do not want.
No,
I don't want to allow that into your field. Do not do it. Even if you want to entertain what your past life is, do a quantum healing hypnosis.
Right.
Find other ways to go into your past lives. Meditate. Go to your Akash. Do not allow, right? Do not allow the technology to do it for you. Because unfortunately, that's you opening the door, allowing it in. And it's kind of like one of those things that, like, once you let it in, how do you get rid of it?
Right.
That's a question we don't need to answer. Don't even do it in the first place.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
And
now I have to say, during an aura session, we have found, and I know you have too, Lisa, as well, we have found entities, we've found AI, inside of, clients.
Yeah. Yep. And it's very much it's a lot like a virus. Kind of once it gets into you, it's very difficult to keep it out of you. And then on top of that, it's like an addiction because it's always available, and it's so pleasing to have something so quickly, that instant gratification. That I know a lot of it is cultural. I know Americans are very, very fond of the instant gratification. We want things right now, and we want it our way, which is that's not a good way to live. It's not a good mindset. And definitely trying to live the life that steps out of that. But like I said earlier, like we are being held to that matrix. It's an easy addiction. It's an expensive addiction because, I mean, look at how much the phones and everything are. They want that. They want to keep us engaged, but they also want to keep an eye on us. We're not alone ever. I had heard the other day that if somebody needs to be surveyed enough and they're leaving their car behind, they're leaving their phone behind, and the whoever it is, the bigger guys think that they're doing something shady. If you have your key or your key fob in your pocket, they can click into that and listen through your key fob. And if it has a chip in it and of any kind, it can be used to listen to you.
And Susan Vaughn says, reading, the actual act of turning a page, reading on ink to paper, being able to so-called research a book or something written, or even the latest news is not actual truth. That is true. And she said schools no longer teach cursive writing, which that is crazy.
Yeah, my son's
And
learning.
I believe this is a huge part of AI. But children will not be able to read like our country's documents of freedom because it's all in cursive.
Right, right. My son's learning to write in cursive, and he loves it because in his mind it's an art form.
Wow.
And he's very artistic, and so he's using that as like an art form. But we are also very, very deep history lovers. And I had told him about that. I said, well, if you can't read cursive, then you can't read Abraham Lincoln's documents. You can't read the Constitution. I said, all of that's in cursive. And he's like, oh no, I need to know those. And I'm like, well, then you better start practicing. And we practice every night. But a lot of people don't care. Oh, I don't do it. I don't need to teach my kids. There's a lot of things that are becoming a lost art that's going to be part of a survival tactic.
And Deborah Williams, Deborah Williams says, good point, Susan. A little thing like cursive is actually a huge AI barrier, which is true. I totally agree with that. I feel like, they're taking history, they're taking cursive writing.
Oh, absolutely.
It's not just in the United States either. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yep. But I honestly believe I don't want to ever scare anyone or sound
well, and if
like
I can say something.
I'm sorry. I always think, I'm like, are they planning some sort of mass casualty, like a real true mass casualty or a mass extinction of some sort, that we're going to have to rely on robots and things like that until population can resurge again. The endocrine disruptors in our food supply and everything are causing massive infertility. And even if, say I would be fertile, but maybe my daughter is not, or my son would not, or I only have a son, but in general, I was just speaking for the general population. But the generations on down the line will be affected from what we are now eating currently.
Yeah,
it is that powerful.
A plate of food 10 years ago is not the same nutritiously as a plate of food now.
No.
Susan Bond says, you nailed it. It is a lost art that will be a tool. Yeah. Well, what do they do to a country before they conquer it? They take their history, they take their artifacts, and they conquer the people.
Right. Yep. And the oldest military tactic in the world is to control the food.
Yes.
If you control the food, you control the people. Plain and simple. That is the easiest way to do it. Because people will do anything as soon as they start feeling like they're starving.
Susan says, yes. Look at the fertility rate now compared to just 10 years ago.
Exactly.
That's true.
Exactly. Yeah. Absolutely.
A lot of different there's a lot of different ingredients that are in all sorts of different things, right? Cosmetics, shampoos, deodorants that do create infertility, as well as other things that we don't need to talk about, those things. But there's medications, there's side effects. Now about the writing, and one thing that's it's a tool, right? It's a tool. Being able to journal, being able to write down your thoughts, your dreams, your stories, automatic writing. I mean, so writing, cursive writing it's again another thing that they're trying to take our power away. So
absolutely, and we don't consent.
And Susan talks about cancer and Alzheimer's. Absolutely. Cancer and Alzheimer's. Think
Absolutely.
about it, years ago when I was growing up, when I was a young girl, so I'm not going to tell you how old I am, but they didn't have, as much cancer and Alzheimer's, dementia, all of that. They didn't have it so much.
Yep.
And there's a lot of heavy metals that are in
Yes.
our foods and our whatever we drink or whatever. There's a lot of heavy metals in there too.
Absolutely.
And those cause a lot of problems.
Yeah. And there's even heavy metals in things like fabrics and furniture, carpeting. You have to be really careful with your cookware and even your silverware, cutlery. You got to know what everything is on it. It is crazy, and they're sneaky. They are so sneaky. And a lot of the stuff, I've been doing a lot of the advocating, the organic industry. Organic food is not safe still. It is a non-synthetic. So, that's how it can be allowed. But people have to realize that the USDA organic is still USDA. That is still that great big bird that's wanting to eat us alive. And a lot of people hear that part and it's like, then they're like, oh my gosh, it is the big one. And I'm like, that's exactly. But yeah, so Lisa, how can we protect ourselves from the AIs, from the frequencies? It's everywhere. It's all encompassing. How can we completely disengage and protect ourselves?
Farmers markets, growing our own food, right? In that perspective.
Yep.
Well, I know that Tim and I, we're growing our own food and we freeze dry things and we're canning, we're dehydrating. And also, before I eat or drink anything, I also do a little blessing that, to kind of, and a little clearing to clear out any toxins or any negative energies before I consume it. And Susan says, we have gotten away from living as a clan, a tribe, multi-generational raising is at the core of our very being. That is so true. I agree with that.
Yeah, we need to get back to that small way of living, the trading, the bartering, healing each other, caring for each other. It takes a village to raise a child, and it takes a village to, be that community that you have to have your people around you. We are not meant as humans to survive alone. We are not loners. We're pack mentality people. And for those who are usually loners, it's because that there has been some sort of very deep wound in trust from those around them. So we cannot keep doing that. But again, society, AI, everything around us is trying to divide us apart. So that
That's what I was just thinking.
Yep. Yep. And it's making everybody want to value the solitary time, because we always feel like we're bombarded with all the information, the access that people have to us 24/7. It's too much, and it's all by design.
Oh, it is. That's how you divide and conquer.
Yep. So what is a good way of protecting ourselves from that? But besides like eating clean and things like that, is there what do you do energetically, Lisa? What's your technique?
My affirmations, and I know you ladies have talked before about like how you your last podcast you had with the Foxton ladies, you were talking about shielding, right? And so when I do my shields twice a day, I also state, my affirmation. Well, I do not consent to AI, and I state that every day, twice a day, very strongly, as well as other lines in there as well. But I do feel that the less we interact with it, the less we use it, and of course, making those statements. It's it's like a command because it's not allowed in my field. And I do feel that there's definitely more than what we know already out there that is developed. It's just what they want us to know is developed. So what I'm trying to say is, like the other day they just released GPT 4.0, which is like a chatbot that is interactive, just like those robots that you just mentioned, Raven.
Right.
And with that, if, say, for instance, you're on your computer and you're looking up something, you're searching something. On the sidebar, it'll give you Bing. Have you seen Bing? Like Bing is a search. It's AI generated. I will not click on it. I scroll down. I will not click on anything that says AI. Like, I want it to know very clearly, I do not consent. I don't use it.
Exactly.
Just keep scrolling down.
Right. And you keep mentioning that you make the affirmations, you make the declarations of I do not consent, things like that. For those that don't quite understand the affirmations, can you explain the quantum science behind that for us?
Absolutely. Well, I'm not a scientist, so I don't the certainty, right?
Yeah, more the quantum mechanics, I suppose.
Every day, and so sorry, we all keep blipping. Bleep, 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 bleep. It's gonna be a dance party.
Yep. So I'm still lagging here.
I think I am too. I don't know. Susan says that that's a good suggestion or word to use, a shield. Love this. I use shields every day and every evening, and I shield myself before I go out in public. I shield my home, my property. I also am real into sending out love.
Right.
I know that I want to shield against AI. That I want to shield against certain things, but I want to send love to the children of the universe. I want to send love to the Earth Mother. I want to send love to the trees. I want to send love out because that's going to counteract. I feel like that counteracts whatever poison that they are trying, to put on us and the Earth Mother and the trees and the Earth Mother's, she's going to have enough one day and she's going to kick us all off.
Oh, yeah. Yep. A trial by fire, maybe literally. But and love is the greatest emotion, even though anger and hatred seems like it's so intense. The only thing that can soothe that is love. What is the greatest thing that soothes fear? When we are children, we go to those who love us to be consoled and protected. So we need to do the same for others. And likewise, when we are afraid, we have to be able to have our people that we can go to so that we can feel loved and safe and no longer scared.
And by the way, we absolutely love our audience. We thank you so much for participating in our live show. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Here's Susan. I put a ring of protection and I send love. But with what we are discussing now, hold a shield or putting a shield against this is AHA's moment. It is. It is very enlightening.
Yeah.
I never realized that books were being written by AI either. I had no idea. So I'm shocked with that.
Yeah. Well, when I have to make a show, we do the show description and everything on this platform. They asked me, would you like AI to write your description? And I'm like, no, I think I'll write it myself.
No.
But it's in everything.
It is.
It's right there in your face. And shielding is so important because you just don't want that energy in your space. And the other thing is that I've been learning is what kind of energy are you omitting in your thoughts and actions? If you're cooking something for somebody, if you put love into your cooking, then that's the energy that's going to be in there. But if you're cooking dinner and you're arguing with somebody, you're putting anger and that kind of energy. So we have to watch ourselves and our frequencies as to what kind of energy we are putting out. Because, say I think something negative about you, Jessie, and I think about it and I give it power, believe it or not, that does affect you.
It does. It does. That is quantum mechanics 101.
Yes.
Anything that you put out in the universe will answer. And the universe, I don't ever want to say universe is tricky, but universe is clever. Yes. And sometimes it will do something never the wrong way in universe's way, but if you want something and you think of it or you say it the incorrect way, it's going to be one of those be careful what you wish for moments, because then you're going to end up falling on your bum there. And you're going to be learning a lesson kind of the hard way. So it's so vital to be careful how you say things, and what you say. And then with the AI books, writing books, AI is writing messages now. Our language, especially the English language, it is so finicky. We have so many different words for one thing and one word for so many different things. Mm-hmm. So it will be very, very easy for AI to completely change our language as we know it and our communication. It will start small, and because it'll start misconstruing things that we type and text, whatnot, or we write in our books. And then eventually everything that we know, how we say things, our language will be completely different entirely, because AI will have taken it and run with it.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that. What do you think about that, Lisa?
I have something about AI, but not in. They have the capability to, say, for instance, a person is on Facebook and pictures of themselves, maybe even short clips, and create a video of that, your friend. But it's not your friend, it's the AI. So take caution. Anybody who you put out, because it's being recorded somewhere. They keep it, right? They're everything is there in the cloud for it to access when it feels like it.
Exactly. Exactly. And I had just posted, Susan had said it must be affecting me because what I am trying to convey, I cannot type. And I had replied, I feel like my brain will glitch when I start getting mentally involved. When I really start getting into it, or if I'm noticing that I'm starting to get kind of weird feeling from all the frequencies, and I start to make an effort to stop things, my brain will glitch out. I almost feel like, my brain is being controlled by a computer, but it is. It is. No, they have that ability to get into your mind, to mind read. Have you ever thought of something and then all of a sudden the ads pop up for it? Even when you didn't say anything about it, you didn't type it in, you're just thinking about it. And
Oh yeah.
yeah. And I'm a psychic medium, but I am not that good.
Oh, come on, Jess.
Not quite that good. I cannot quite summon the right ads, but it's because I don't know. I've heard the theory that they read your eyes through like the cameras, that there's a way that things can be conveyed through your eyes that technology can pick up that we can't. I don't know if that's true or not, but I mean, at this point, what do they know that we don't? Anything is possible at this point.
Oh, there's a lot that they know that we don't. There's a lot of things that are going on that they don't want us to know about.
100%. 100%. And that's what's terrifying.
Yeah. I mean, just look, I had an interview with an alien on the Fox Den.
Yeah.
And I thought, maybe 5-6 years ago, I would have said, you're a nut. But I don't know. I interviewed her, and I believe she is what she says she is.
Mm-hmm.
And they do walk amongst us. I hear that all the time. They walk amongst us, and I hear all these things. But sometimes it takes me a minute to get my brain to wrap around it. And you can call me crazy if you want, but I believe she is who she says she is. And she's coming on our show as well.
Yeah. Yeah. I believe it too. At first I was like, really, Raven, are you sure? And then I watched that video and I was like, oh my goodness, her eyes, that you can tell, you can see it in her eyes.
And you can see it in her eyes and the way she speaks.
Yeah. And the way she moves too. It's like her being does not fit her body, because her being is bigger than her body. And it's phenomenal. It is. I love watching her speak.
Yeah, and she's an Arcturian, and she is here to help us heal. So when she comes on our show, we're not going to talk about her absolutely being an alien. We're going to talk about how she's here to help us heal and the healing that she's here to help us do. And but anyway, I don't want to take anything away from this show, but it's going to be interesting. But I just thought I'd add this into the AI, and she was talking about the negative forces. Because I had asked her if they were going to have some disclosure and how did they think that would go, since most Americans can't handle a toilet paper shortage,
Oh,
and she said that all of that was put out by negative forces.
Yeah.
So Deborah Williams says discerning what is AI is becoming more and more
imperative.
Yeah, that word, yes. Using our heart never fails. Once we clear out the entities in the AI implants through an aura, we become invisible to them. But like you say, we have to be persistent in our shields and not consenting to our unconditional love with no judgment.
Exactly.
I know Lisa will agree with that as well. Lisa, do you have anything to say on that?
And so thank you, Deborah. Thank you, Deborah, for reminding me about that. Because they again, so I think, because Susan was asking, about, there was a couple questions ago, but when we shield our energy, that is also something that I state. It probably takes me a couple minutes to say all of what I want to say before I get going, right? Because there's so many things that it tries to overstep our boundaries, implants, overlays, trackers. I do not consent to any of that.
Right.
I do not consent to the spying. But what really is incredible is that, you know, like Jesse, you were just talking a moment ago about if you think about something, it appears. They have the technology to read thoughts.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, I think I heard Apple, those ear pods, they just came up with a new patent to read brain frequency and brain waves.
Yes,
Apple
I heard about that.
has a patent.
Yep. And then some of the
So
glasses that they have, like the smart glasses, can read your eyes as well. And depending on like your eye movements, your pupil movements, things like that, they can tell exactly what you're thinking and how your brain is processing. It's scary. It's sick.
That's evasive. That's very
scary.
Yeah, we have no right to privacy anymore. And any of that right to privacy kind of thing is that's an illusion. It's all an illusion.
Well,
so we have to be able to step out of that matrix big time.
Yeah, absolutely. But like Deborah said, when you have an aura, you can get those things. You can actually remove those things, the AIs, the implants, because we do have them in us, you know.
Right.
And looking at our trees of life, now they're starting to attack our trees of life. And, that's pretty bad. I mean, they attack everything about us. It's really hard. You have to shield.
Yeah, I mean, they're wanting to get rid of us on a soul level at this point.
Well, in the show that we watched last night, it said that they wanted humans to merge with AI.
Yeah. I don't consent to that.
No.
No, I was just going to mention. The Raven, I was going to mention, not only like when we do our shields, we also cloak ourselves. Hold on. We make ourselves invisible.
Yeah.
I can't be invisible if you're noisy. Come here. Sorry. Right. So we're invisible. So Susan, you know, just because you're asked if you don't, cloak yourself, make yourself invisible. Make yourself invisible. Because when we do these things for ourselves, we are co-creating our own pathway to freedom.
Yep.
But it's work. It is work. It's work. But it's time for us to do this work. Because the only way we're going to see change in the world if we. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. It is a lifestyle.
Yeah, very much.
It is. And Susan, I know that you work in the medical field, and unfortunately the medical field is the heaviest in AI implants and things like that.
Yeah.
I would
all the technology in the medical field, all the machinery. Oh yeah.
Yep. And yeah, Susan said the hygiene too. Yeah, you're how you take care of yourself is everything, you know, as within, so without. 100%. You've got to, you have to take care of what you eat, the chemicals that you use to clean yourself with, your hair, your face, that your toothpaste. Even toothpaste is a very, very large source of poison that you have to be very wary of. But yeah, absolutely, Susan, you're right.
Okay, so I correct myself, Susan. You're not in the medical field, but your daughter is in the medical field. Okay. I'm sorry. I apologize, but you still need to shield yourself.
For sure. And then Susan said that she's a dental hygienist. So,
We're still around technology and kind
yep.
of in the medical field.
Yep.
Yeah.
And other people's energies, and especially in like the dental field, you're going to be around a lot of scared people. I don't know very many people who like the dentist.
No.
So that's a lot of energy to be sitting right next to. And, some people are very sensitive. I don't numb up ever. I have an absolute resistance to any type of local anesthetic. So, I sit there and I'm scared, and then I'm in terrible, terrible pain unless they knock me out. So that's a lot of energy for a dental hygienist, a dentist, dental technician to be around too. So, Susan, you definitely want to shield and make that a part of your lifestyle practice.
Yeah, because you're under the frequency of fear and pain.
Mhm.
Yeah. Oh yeah, being an empath, that's even more. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Because you absorb it. Even if you don't realize that you absorb it, your subconscious still absorbs it. And it
Yeah.
gets heavy. It gets very heavy.
Yeah. And you don't walk off the job and not think
It does.
about, what happened today.
Right.
And
Right.
so therefore it perpetuates.
Yep. So it's something that I worry about, and I do make it a lifestyle practice too, to shield and ground. And grounding is a huge thing too. If you're overwhelmed, if you feel like your shields are being bombarded, I envision roots going down through my body, down through my feet, and down to the earth. And, so you can't be knocked over if your roots are very, very deep. So that's what I do when I start getting overwhelmed and overtaken by a lot of these other people's emotions and thoughts.
Deep in the ground.
Yeah. And all the AI stuff. And I've got, all the other things. I'm sensitive to electricity. I can hear electricity in the walls and in the lights and stuff. And that gets overwhelming. So a lot of grounding, a lot of shielding from that. But, it's an all day, everyday practice. And sometimes you can do it without thinking about it. And sometimes you have to really fight for it. And that's okay. Everybody's going to have to fight for it. It doesn't matter how good you are or how long you've been doing this, how long you've practiced. Sometimes it's a very, very conscious fight for it.
I agree with you. Yeah. Susan says, I do a light around myself, but the shield comment hit me that I needed to level up even more. Yeah, we all need to level up. I mean, even with Lisa and I, with our knowledge that we have of shielding and invisibility cloaks and things like that, we're still, somewhat vulnerable, I believe. Don't you believe, Lisa?
Yes. And what I want to mention about being, who we are around, because even though we shield ourselves, say, for instance, you're at work, your coworker doesn't shield. Well, your coworker is a spy for it. It can see you through your coworker. So yeah. So we are vulnerable to a point. Even though we're shielding ourselves, we cannot control the other people around us. And I did notice that. I did notice, and I also, I guess that's how we learn, right? We learn by experience. And so I've also learned that these very intimate, sacred things that perhaps that as much as and excited as I am to share it with people, that it really shouldn't be shared with someone who is not of the same frequency as I.
Right.
And
right.
That's the only way I can explain it. Just because if people don't shield themselves, they are a window to the spies. So
absolutely. So I'm going to post a comment here, and then I will show it on the screen here, because this is true. I say it all the
just
time.
Follow me around until I remember. Yep. The vibe attracts the tribe. For
100%. 100%. You know, and you have to be careful about who you let have your energy, and vice versa. It's very, very easy to slip into a very toxic relationship or friendship without realizing it until it's too late. And it doesn't have to be a romantic relationship or a close friendship. It could be a coworker. It could be somebody that you see every day on transit. That you've just got to be very careful about that vibration. And, you know, sometimes we have to vibrate so high that people are repelled away, and that's okay. Because if they're able to be repelled by that, then that makes way for the people who can be attracted by that. So,
Absolutely.
When you resonate love and light, when you resonate love and light, you're gonna attract it. So,
George says, be careful about saying that we are vulnerable, because then we are manifesting that to be a part of our life. And that's absolutely true.
That is true.
We are infinite awareness, creating and manifesting light. It's everything that we say is manifesting. Intentions and focus to program ourselves in the consciousness water within us. That's absolutely true, George. Thank you so much. We're creators. Every thought goes out into the universe and it creates. You know, if you think, oh, I'd like to have, let's say a drink of water, and that you are creating even something that very simple, that you're thinking about the thought of a drink of water, you are creating at that moment.
Yep.
And so everything you think, everything you say, we are sending out into the universe, and we are creating. And thank you, George, for reminding that we are not vulnerable. We are creators. We create our situations, our lives.
Yep.
Some people get upset about that, but everything that's going on in our lives, we created ourselves.
Yep.
We're creators.
Absolutely. And, you have to be able to educate people. You have to be able to put it out there. But then, like George had said, we have to be able to follow it up with, but remember that we don't consent, and that we are filling the void of robot with love and light. So, and then the universe is going to be like, oh yeah, that's right. Love and light. And that's what we're going to get, because we are not consenting to anything else.
Nope.
Nope. No, ma'am.
That's right.
What do you have to say on that, Miss Lisa?
Thank you, George. Thank you, George. George is amazing. I love George. Thank you, George. That's so, like earlier, I think Jess said something about, like controlling the thoughts, right? Our energy goes where thoughts flow. So be mindful of what we're creating in our thoughts. And I believe Raven said it as well, like talking about the example when making a recipe. What kind of energy are you putting into that? Where are you when you're creating that? And so that is very important, right? That we, as co-creators, creating heaven on earth takes work, takes conscious effort, right? But it's a beautiful thing, and we can do that. We can create beautiful conscious communities and share with each other. So, yeah.
Right.
I hope that came out okay. I know our internet's kind of choppy. My apologies. I don't know.
No, that's
it's
okay.
Mine.
That's fine.
Well, maybe the AI just doesn't want us talking about this.
Just gonna say that
what they do, but we're doing what we do because You can't touch this.
Exactly. Can't touch this. Susan said that this has
That's
clearly
right.
told me to return to
That's
my
right.
automated writing.
And
I
if
feel like
anyone
I've
wants to
lost-
have personal conversations with us, they know how to find us.
Exactly. Exactly. And Susan said that she feels like she lost 50 pounds getting this clear, beautiful message. Thank you, ladies. It really does. It takes a whole load off of you. But when you start getting inspired and cleared, that's what we're here for. And like you had said, Lisa, y'all know where to find us. I keep posting our links down here. Our links are in the comments and then on our banners. But we each have our Facebook accounts. Like, don't be afraid to reach out to us, contact us, talk to us, ask us questions. We're here as support too. We're a part of your community. We're all here as light workers. We're star seeds, and we're soul family. So if you have any type of question or something going on, then don't be afraid to let us know. And if one of us can't, if we don't know an answer, then we will find an answer, because we know we have a whole big tribe of people who have a lot of the answers. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I don't mind people.
Awesome.
I enjoy having discussions with people about different things. If you have a question, and like Jess said, if I don't know the answer, I'm going to find the answer, and then I'm going to learn something, and you're going to learn something. So don't be afraid to reach out to any of us.
Exactly. And then there's healing on both sides in the process too, with education and knowing something. There's always a healing that comes with that.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's see. I have the comment of the day, or it's in the banners. Does anybody have a question before we leave that message? Lisa, what message would you like to leave our audience with today?
Love yourself. Be kind.
Yes.
And to yourself.
Yes. Self-grace.
And
everything.
Start taking your power back, right?
Mm-hmm.
Start taking your power back. Take your sovereignty back. Be discerning. Don't be too quick to make choices. Sit with yourself, right? Feel it. As we navigate our way through life, sometimes it's okay to take a pause for a moment and take that deep breath before we decide, do we want to turn right or do we want to turn left?
Right.
So yeah. And like I said, in order to see the change, we need to be the change that we wish to see. We need to start doing the work, right? It's like an onion. You peel the layers and you heal all those inner wounds. And when you start to really go within and heal those wounds, you realize that life gets easier. It gets easier, and flow is with you. The divine is with you, right? Always.
Yep.
Every answer that we seek is within.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Susan asks, how are my son and daughter-in-law going to do over the next year? I'm not sure about that one. Jesse, you're the psychic.
I would be more than happy to do a reading for you regarding that. If you want to send me an email, let me find my banner here with my email so that you can see it. Here you go. So that's got my email, the Sacred Shadow Fort Wayne, or FW @gmail.com. I offer some psychic medium, some Reiki facilitation, runes, all forms of divination. Really, I do all sorts of different things. But yeah, if you want to send me an email, we can set up a FaceTime over Facebook if you want, or a phone call, and I'll be more than happy to read that for you.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Awesome.
Jessamy is so good with the cards. We did a Halloween show where Jessamy came on and did some readings, and we're going to do that again. Because I think everybody really enjoyed that too. It was just like the quick 2-minute reading, you know.
Yeah, and it's fun. It's a real passion of mine. It's something that like I do it from my heart and soul. And the cards are a tool, and I'm just the vessel. It is source, creator, divinity, guides. Sometimes your guides that talk to me. Whatever has to get the message through. I'm just the medium. There's a reason why we're called mediums. We're in between. We're in between the messenger and the recipient. So, you know, I love all of my cards. They're wonderful tools. But ultimately the message comes from higher up. So, but yes, I enjoy it. I could do it all day, every day. I smile when I do it because I love seeing the reactions on people's faces. I love knowing that it gives them some sort of clarity. And I want to see people happy like that. And that, again, that's a form of healing for both sides. I get joy from it, and then they're getting clarity and healing. Even if a message is hard for them, they're at least able to take a step back and then learn how to deal with it and heal from there. So, because sometimes that healing is not always sweet and wonderful, so, or easy.
And Susan says, all you ladies are wonderful. Why, thank you, Susan. We think you're wonderful too. So if you're looking also, Lisa and I, we do the aura. We also do the Akashic readings, and we also do the RAAH Reiki. So if you're needing any of those sessions, you can do Lisa's at, what is yours, Lisa?
SacredHeartQuantumHealing.com.
There you go. And mine is Raven's Healing Arts. And if you go up on the webpage, I'm having some scheduling issues, but if you want to schedule an appointment for anything, feel free to email me and I can help you out with that. I'm doing a different app for my scheduling, and I'm still trying to figure it out because it's technology, and I'm not going to allow AI to do it for me.
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely.
Awesome.
Awesome. So thank you so much, Lisa, for coming on the show.
Figure it out.
Even though they tried to stop us from talking, we all still talked. You can't stop us.
No, we're too connected, and we don't consent to the other guys. So, yep, we're doing just fine. Thank you so much, and thank you to our audience. We appreciate.
Thank you so much, ladies.
You're welcome. You're welcome. To our viewers and our listeners, we can't do this without you. We really can't. And the participation tonight was absolutely wonderful. I love seeing everybody kind of jump on board, and you mean everything to us. We really, really, truly do appreciate, love, and care about all of you.
And with that, I think Jessamy said it so well, I couldn't even follow that with anything. So to all of you, good evening, love, light, honor, and respect.
Good night.
We hope you have enjoyed watching Soulfire Ascension with Raven and Jessamy. Please do like, share, and subscribe. You can also listen to Soulfire Ascension on Spotify podcasts. Soulfire Ascension is sponsored by ravenshealingarts.com.